Hi there, this is Graham Nicholls from Affinity Gospel Churches in Partnership, based in the UK. It's around about 13th March 2026. And we're looking at some stories in the news. In The Independent this week, there is an article that talks about the fact that there's a Louis Theroux documentary on Netflix coming out about influences in the Manosphere. And this article also references the fact almost with moral panic, that a recent survey showed a third of men thought that women should obey their husbands. This is extraordinary considering the culture in which we live. And we want to make sure as Christians that we are really clear on this topic, that we do not want to promote a misogynistic, a domineering, even a coercive, controlling kind of narrative of what manhood and particularly fatherhood and husbands should be like. But rather, we do want to promote a biblical idea of mutual flourishing as we fulfill the roles that God has given us. And those roles are not the same. We want to promote a biblical equality, which is we're made equal in God's image and we are saved equally as sons and daughters of God. But we do have a different role. And we want to talk about that positively in a way that men and women will flourish. Another story in the news this week is the publication of the Islamophobia guidance. It's given some different terms, but that's essentially what it is. And there's great concern, and I think legitimate concern amongst the Christian community about how this could be used against Christian apologists. There are qualifications in the potential guidance, which will talk about how critiquing the religion itself is not banned and so on. But I think in practice, there could be lots of either disruptive or egregious claims about this, or even some that are actually proved to be lawful claims against Christians who might critique some aspects of Islam. So I think it's right to be concerned about it, and we want to support those who are campaigning to have a much better law, if there's a law at all. There is a whole question about equality, that there's really nothing similar related to Christians or the Christian faith or Christendom or anything like that. So it's definitely worth campaigning. But at the same time, I think we need to be calm and trusting to recognize that God's in control of these things, and that our business is less about that and more about how we get on with proclaiming the gospel, whatever the consequences might be. The war in Iran continues to dominate the headlines, doesn't it? And really now the emphasis has shifted towards what's the end game? How could this war end? What are the war aims and how are they going to be fulfilled? And I think it's right and legitimate to ask those questions, and to ask questions about legality of the war, and to ask questions and come to some kind of solution, both individually and as people who lead countries, about whether it's a good and a just war. But there are also other things coming to the fore to do with the economy. How will this affect the economy? And people worried about that. Lots of news items connected with that. And also about what the future holds for both that region and for the way we conduct politics globally. So there's lots of uncertainty. And I think into this, as Christians, we do want to dialogue on the important topics of just wars, and also think compassionately about the economic impact. It may not dramatically impact our lifestyle, but it will affect some people, particularly those who are more vulnerable, either financially or through some other circumstance. So we want to be compassionate and caring, and also wise. But at the same time, recognize our primary battle, again, is the spiritual battle that we're in, the spiritual warfare that we're in. And part of that is speaking into all kinds of political situations and economic situations. But primarily, we speak the gospel, because that has the ultimate power, and that will win the ultimate war, both a battle of, yes, ideas, but also the battle of spiritual forces. And in the end, there's only one victor in that battle.